Let's bring in Eli Lilly CEO David Ricks at the J.P. Morgan Healthcare Conference. You're the man of the hour.
Good morning.
Good morning. And first, I want to express condolences about the loss of your father.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay. I do think that we are stunned, as usual, about the fact that the stock is down. And yet, and I don't want to be too pedestrian to talk about the stock when I'm with you, because I think that you're talking about something bigger than the stock, talking about something in 2025 that would be the most shocking, fastest growing drug of all time. Why don't you talk about it?
Yeah, well, today we're putting out, guidance for the year, and we're excited how 25 is setting up. We exited last year with the incretin business, as you're referring to, Zepbound, Mounjaro,
right,
plus our older one, Trulicity, annualizing at $25 billion a year, growing 60%. So that sets up a year where we're projecting for the company 32% total growth. That's about what we did last year as well, but it's on a higher basis. And by the way, the rest of the portfolio is doing incredibly well as well. High teen growth, annualizing at $20 billion. So really excited about the progress of the company in 24, 25 looking even brighter.
Okay, let's go over that. You said it's looking even brighter, but then you said that it's going to be, I heard you say, somewhat the same. I mean, I'm trying to understand. The reason I point this out is, I was critical about the way you talked about the third quarter because I couldn't figure it out.
Right.
Fourth quarter, if I can't figure it out, at a certain point, I don't want episodic volatility from Eli Lilly.
Sure.
I'm used to Eli Lilly going like this, not Eli Lilly being an oscillator. When are we going to get numbers which just indicate this is a straight-out ramp and I don't have to worry about the granularity?
Well, we've put our best effort into this latest projection. We're doing something others have never done, right? We're growing pharmaceutical product at a rate and a scale that really is new for us and new for the industry. We're going to get some things wrong, and we have. We saw destocking in the channel in the second half. We've put that into our forward outlook.
Right.
We don't expect that to come back. We've seen ups and downs in various parts of the market, patients switching between the diabetes form and the obesity form. Prediction, has been tougher, but to be honest, the underlying fundamentals are incredible. The total GLP-1 market last year grew 45%. We grew 60%. And we grew share in the fourth quarter. In fact, Jim, we're now the market leader in both diabetes and obesity in new patient starts, crossing Novo. So we're in great position as we set up the year. And the other big issue has been manufacturing and supply. We said to the street we'd hit 50% growth in units in the second half of this year over the same period last. We hit that. Now we're saying for the first half of next year, first semester, 60% growth. So some of that supply is coming online. That's growth on top of growth. And we're excited about 25.
So what is the inventory level? Do you have enough to meet the demand? That's what I think.
We have plenty of inventory. We have about 4 weeks on hand at Lilly. What I think we're seeing now, what we didn't predict, one of the assumptions we got wrong is because there's been supply tightness in the first half of the year, inventory levels rose in the retail channel. They rose in the wholesale channel because of uncertainty. As we become a much more predictable supplier, people are just pulling that down on demand. They've been able to work down their working capital, and patients can get the medicine when they want. We finished the fourth quarter with every dose in stock and available the whole time. So we're in a good position on supply now, and I think the channel's just responding to that.
All right.
Could we have seen that? Yes.
Well, okay, so when is pill coming?
Yeah, so we get our first data. So next year, big tailwinds in the GLP-1 business for us. First, new indications, sleep apnea, heart failure, et cetera. New markets, Mexico, Brazil, China, and new forms. So oral GLP-1 or orforglipron, we'll get our first data set sometime late Q2. Excited to see that. That'll validate the profile, which we hope to be as good as semaglutide, but in a pill form. That will allow us to scale around the globe in really an incredible way.
Okay, now you mentioned heart failure. Let's not skip over this because what some people are worried about is payment. If it's hypertension, which is the silent killer, if it's actually sleep apnea, these are things that people pay for. The governments around the world will pay for. So I think that that's different from weight loss, which people sometimes feel is fanciful, even though you and I both know that obesity is another killer. So the idea that all these countries you just mentioned, plus the United States, will pay for it would make it so that I think that 2025 is a much more important year than 2024.
We're going to get there one way or the other. I think in time that health payers will pay for obesity and will recognize it's the ultimate prevention medication. Right. To prevent all kinds of chronic health diseases. In the meantime, we'll bite that off piece by piece. You mentioned sleep apnea. That's 14 million Americans, most of who are obese and can now get coverage. Medicare said they'll cover that. Heart failure, another one. There's so much overlap between these chronic conditions you know so well and obesity. So we'll either get it through the new indications and the data that's proving using the medication to lose weight isn't just good in a general way, it's specifically addressing these diseases. Those will get reimbursed. But I think over time, eventually people will just realize, why don't we just pay for obesity medications. It's a disease, and it helps people get healthier. They're probably going to live longer and avoid these chronic conditions to begin with, rather than wait till they get the condition, then pay for it.
All right, the elephant in the room for me is RFK Jr. When I saw him, I talked about diet and exercise versus injection. This is a man who does not favor vaccines. He believes diet and exercise are the holy grail. Now, you and I both know that diet and exercise is the reason why you need GLP-1, because it's a failed strategy.
Yep.
We all want it to be the right strategy because it's purity. But tell the truth, diet and exercise strategy has failed our country and the world.
Well, up until we launched our drugs, it was the standard of care, and it wasn't a very good one. We studied our drugs against it, so we know in big populations where people are already overweight or obese, on average, they lost about 2% of their body weight over a year and a half. So I don't think that's that impressive. And we put people on a rigorous diet and exercise program. But on the drug arm, people also pursue diet and exercise, and it's a foundation of obesity management. But with the medication, once you become obese or overweight, the results are profound, losing 22% of your body weight on our drug versus 2% on diet and exercise. Where we agree with what Kennedy is saying and now the incoming president is we can do a much better job keeping people healthier early in life. Food system we can improve, movement, exercise, all good. We support that fully.
Right.
Our company wakes up every day trying to make America healthy. But when people are sick, they need medicine. And when obesity is a sickness, and that people with obesity need medicine.